Well, hello again, friends. Welcome back to Isolation Libations. Happy Tuesday night. I am Joey Joyce. I'm your bartender. And welcome back to my BLM bar, the best little speakeasy in all of Bend, Oregon. Now, we've only had 2 guests out here, so maybe it's a little too secretive, but oh well, so it goes. Probably a good idea to not have too many people coming out here to public land and having cocktails. Anyway, well, so tonight we're making a good cocktail. The other ones were good too. This one's really good. These cocktails, we make them to pair along with Brian Chartrand's music. Fantastic musician out of Phoenix, Arizona. Every weeknight at 5 o'clock, he has a live show that he puts on Facebook. So it's facebook.com/Brian Chartrand Music. Again, 5 o'clock West Coast time, but you can always go back and watch them on demand if you so wish. Now this cocktail is an original cocktail of mine. Actually, I created it back in 2018 for the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival, and it's kind of evolved since then. The initial kind of spark for it was actually a cocktail I had from Dave Newman at Pint and Jigger many moons ago. It was a USBG event, and I don't even know if I have the similar ingredients. We had already done a tasting. I think I'd already had a few cocktails, and he made, it was his welcome cocktail. But I think I asked him at the end of the night, like, what was in that? That's really good. He told me, it's hazy, foggy, but in my trying to attempt to recreate that cocktail, this is kind of what I came up with. And then now, a few years later, it's evolved in other directions too. But that original kind of genesis, little nugget of starting was from a cocktail from Dave Newman. So all credit to my buddy Dave to get the ball rolling on this drink. Now the name, Oh What's Her Name, is the name of the cocktail. That is a song, I believe Wynn Stewart, it's an old country song. The way I came across the song was a band called the Malpass Brothers, I can say it. Fantastic group out of North Carolina, I do believe. Fellows, correct me if I'm wrong, but they just do a great version of that song, and they put on a fantastic live show. Saw them at the Delaware Valley Bluegrass Festival, back in 2017, maybe? Something like that. Anywho, this is the song right now, Oh What's Her Name. Always had it playing at Livestock Tavern, my bar in Honolulu, Hawaii. And just seems like the good name for this drink. So anyway, I'm jabbering on here. Let's start making this cocktail. I realize I don't have a glass with which to pour it in, so I'm gonna grab that out of the cooler right now. I mean, come on with that line. I know I'll never forget, oh, what's her name? It's great. It's classic. Gotta love old country, man. It's the best. All right, now that we have our glassware, we're gonna use a double rocks glass. Now, again, you can see there's a lot of stuff going into this cocktail. This is another one that at my bar in Hawaii at Livestock Tavern, we would batch this cocktail. So meaning we would make a large volume of it already pre-made, put it into one bottle, and just pour from there. This cocktail is another one that I really like batched. We even did a barrel-aged version, which I thought really came out quite nice. And so it's one, if you happen to make it and really kind of fall in love with it, make a whole bottle's worth, have it. I think the flavors meld together, just become a little bit more harmonious when this one is batched or barrel-aged. If you got a little small barrel, go for it, man. It's really fun. All right, so we're gonna start out 2 types of bitters. Angostura bitters, 2 dashes. And then orange bitters, I'm using the Regan's orange bitters. If you have Angostura orange would work, or Fee Brothers orange. I do like not so sweet an orange bitter in this one. I really do like the Angostura orange, but for some reason I haven't been able to find it out here. But the Regan's is great too. All right, now a lot of these ingredients have kind of ebbed and flowed and changed and morphed. I originally, I think, used Connemara, peated Irish whiskey. I don't have Connemara, so I'm using Ardbeg, the Ugadaw, which is, again, a treat because this is fantastic whiskey, and to be using it in a cocktail is pretty luxurious. Now just a quarter of an ounce. So it's just giving a little smoky backbone kind of hints in the back there. It's not the main element, it's just an accent. Then the orange liqueur, I'm using the Pierre Ferrand dry curacao. Again, it's one I really like a lot. Originally, I used Cointreau, and then for the Food and Wine Festival, I believe I used Combier. Yeah, Combier orange liqueur. So, you know, it's gonna change the cocktail, yeah, but it doesn't mean it's gonna be bad. It's just gonna be different. So a half ounce of this. I have a hard time when people are so set, like, oh, it has to be this, it has to be this, it has to be this ingredient. Why? It doesn't necessarily. I mean, for that particular version, yeah, but you could switch things out and this might be different and it might be fun, you know, a new version. So, you know, especially now, right? Use what you have on hand. I'm lucky enough that I stocked up my bar like crazy, and so I have a lot. But even still, I'm not gonna go out and buy like 2 different orange liqueurs right now. So find the one you like and stick with it and roll with it. So this one too, Coke Americano. The original version that I made, I used Lillet Blanc. I don't have Lillet Blanc. I have Coke Americano, and I like Coke, so I'm doing that. So this will probably be a little bit more bitter than when I used it with Lillet Blanc, and that's okay. The Verna stayed the same. By the way, if I didn't say, the Coke was a half ounce. Verna has always been I think that's like the only consistent ingredient from the original recipe, except for the Angostura bitters. Everything else has changed a little bit. And again, that's okay. All right, so a Verna, nice bitter Italian liqueur. Not like it's not like Fernet bitter, but a half ounce here. It's got some nice like orange and like kind of cola notes. It's from Sicily. Good stuff. Verna is one of my go-to Amaros, like bitter Italian liqueurs. It always seems to work well in cocktails. I really dig it. Now for the whiskey, originally I used Maker's Mark. Now it's a wheated bourbon. I like Maker's Mark a lot, but I did find with all this stuff in here, it works better with a higher proof, kind of more assertive, bold whiskey, and actually something a little bit more rye. So that's why I'm using the Old Grandad 114. Another one of my favorite kind of go-to bourbons, especially for cocktails, especially cocktails that have a lot of stuff going on, because it will stand up to all these flavors. Yeah, 114 proof, a high rye percentage, so it gives it a little bit of spice, even though it's still a bourbon. And we're gonna go 1.5 ounces here. So actually, when I made this cocktail at the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival, I had just the standard Maker's Mark. I was making the cocktail, I was batching it, and it just was, it was kind of lacking something. So I believe it was Christian Self from Bevy. I believe he had the cast strength Maker's Mark, and so he was nice enough to kind of give me some of that. So I poured like a couple bottles of that into the batch, and it definitely boosted it up. So it needs a higher proof whiskey for sure. All right, so we've got that 1.5 ounces in there. Then we're gonna grab our ice. Our ice. This is our ice, not just mine. We're sharing it. And let's go ahead and get a large cube. Get your grubby hands right in there. Pop that in your glass. And ice right in there. Beauty. Now again, I have the benefit or challenge of it being a little bit colder outside, so things will not, this isn't gonna melt, but this also won't dilute as quickly, so I can give it a little extra stir. But again, it is going on ice, so even though it's colder out, it will start diluting. So you don't have to go crazy with the stir, but you do want to get all the ingredients incorporated together and mixed up. So I'm excited. I haven't had this drink for a while. I think since I left Hawaii in October, and it's always one of my favorites. One that just kind of came out nice, and got a lot of my favorite things in there. All right, so get your strainer. Oh, yes. That is looking good. Now, you do want to have an orange peel. So again, skin side out. You're going to express the oil over the top. That nice bright hit of orange oil. And again, wiping the glass, what that does, you know, when you take the drink, it gets kind of oils around your mouth. You can really smell it. If you wipe kind of the sides of the glass too, that gets on your hand. So it just kind of increases the experience, all the great aromas and everything. All right, and that's it. So this is your old what's her name, an original cocktail for me. So please enjoy this cocktail. Yeah, woo, come on, man. And listen to Brian's music on his Facebook.com/Brian Chartrand Music every weeknight at 5 o'clock. My friends, thank you so much. Come see me in Bend, especially when I'm in a real bar. And we'll see you Wednesday for the midweek mocktail. So it's a good thing that this is a mighty big drink. I'm keeping this with me. Adios.